This is gonna hurt, but it won't kill you. Where we talk about resilience, tenacity, and how we operate in the face of adversity. Today's guest just happens to be a really good friend of mine who actually helped me get through some adversity. So very much appreciated. It is the Caleb Minner. Caleb, what's happening, bro?
Woo! No, what's up, man? Thank you for having me, bro.
Oh man, absolutely. Obviously there's so many things that we have connected on that we've talked about as each of us have gone through our journeys, our very unique journeys. But there's a lot of similarities in both of those journeys as well. But really, man, I could sit here and talk all day about you, but I want to give you the floor to tell a little bit about your story,
I
man.
think I want to hear it.
Nah, I can now.
Where should I start?
Yep.
You know, where you want me to, like, is it a particular place?
Nah, man, wherever the spirit leads you, bro.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Caleb Mentor from, Tennessee.
Yep.
As you know, very small town, Bolivar, Tennessee, 5,000 people population.
Tell them about the day though.
The Caleb Mentor Day.
Yeah, there you go.
Thankfully, I mean, my hometown showed mad love,
Yep.
for me. Thank God. But July 1st of last year, they surprised me. The mayor, I did a show there, and the mayor flew me in on a helicopter to the stage and granted me my own day.
Yep.
So I feel honored, bro. Like, honestly, on this journey as a musician and an artist, that to me is bigger than anything I feel like that I've done or that's coming, honestly. To have that support from your hometown, that to me is when it comes from people that got your back, love you, that have seen you grow, I think that's that's special.
Yeah.
So I'm just thankful, bro. And I just want to continue to make them proud. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, I think that's huge. I remember seeing you on social media when you were going out there and seeing you get off the helicopter. Talk a little bit more about what that means to you and why that's so impactful in your life.
I think it's very important to me because, like, my whole journey, why I'm here is, when my brother was murdered to gun violence, I started a movement, Men and Mothers Against Gun Violence, Unity Movement. And to see people just show up and support, from when I started back in 2015 up until now, like, it blows my mind to start something from such a dark place and to see it unfold so beautifully, bro. It's honestly, like, I wake up and I think about it, I'm mind blown. Like, I'm like, how did it happen, But I think, I'm proud of myself for just taking that stance, trying to do something to honestly help myself and help my family. I felt like there was a time where, like, we needed light, we needed love, we needed some inspiration, and to start something that means so much, that keeps my brother's memories, alive, keeps my niece, his daughter, like, something that she can, like, be proud of, something that she can lead, standing for love, standing for unity, not hate, Honestly, when that happened, bro, I was in a dark place. And I think the easy route could have been hating. You know what I'm saying? The easy route could have, I want to do the same thing to him that he did to my brother. Right. I feel like that would have been the easiest thing. But honestly, I feel like that would have just kept me in a place that I didn't want to be. So I wanted to just give myself, my family, my community hope. And I'm glad I did.
Absolutely.
To start the movement,
So what are some of those things that you did to not resort to that? How did Caleb navigate that?
I kept the right people around me. Of course, I was in a dark place, so I did some things that I, would normally do. I partied more. I would drink. I would do just extra that I wouldn't normally do. But I think it's important to, have the right people around you when you are down that can tell you, like, hold you accountable first, and also, like, just encourage you to do the right thing. You know, it's easy. Like I said, it's easy to do the wrong thing.
Yep.
You know, easy. We can do that all day.
Right.
So yeah, just trying to eventually, once I got, to a better place to like sit with myself, I think it's very important to grieve. I think I took the time to really do that and try to understand like why I feel the way I feel and why I shouldn't feel the way I feel.
Yep.
I started meditating more, affirming myself more. I felt like that's when things started to turn around. And like that's when I felt like I had the strength to finally say something and start the movement to again, just inspire and bring some love and light. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about the movement. Obviously, there's a catalyst for starting something like that. But one, I want to know how people can learn more about the movement. But two, talk about some of the things that you've done since then.
Since I've done marches, been a part of like the Martin Luther King March in my hometown. I've put on events. I feel like since I started, like that was the first time ever putting on shows, singing in front of, because I did it in college.
Right.
We've done some stuff together,
Yep.
but honestly, I never saw myself doing it full time as a like full time career.
Right.
And I've been able to sustain this, and I don't think it's because I'm so great. Um, I think because I have a purpose, and I'm leading with love. I feel like that's what's sustaining my whole career. And yeah, I just want to keep being the light, bro. Like I ain't saying perfect because I'm
Yep.
not perfect,
Yep.
but just trying to be love when it's hard to be love. You know
Oh
what I'm
man.
saying? Yeah, yeah,
Well, I know you know. You
yeah,
know I know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
One of the things I even mentioned in the book is just talking about how love is just such a powerful motivator.
yeah.
And obviously, what's consistent in your message is love. Talk a little bit more about what love means to you.
Mm, acceptance.
Mm.
Honestly, I feel until you're able to really truly love yourself, you can't really love the next person,
Yep.
And I feel like that's accepting your flaws, um, embracing your good, your bad, um, and knowing your power. I feel like sometimes when we're in a dark place, we always look outward. And I think, and I'm a believer of God. I think faith is very important when to me. And I feel like to those that don't believe in God, I feel like you have to have a higher power to really have something to aspire to be like,
Yep.
and aspire to be more like this love, aspire to be more like this joy. I feel you got to have something you believe in. And I think when you do have that, you can also know it's in you. And I think that's what gave me the strength. That's what gives me the strength every day to get up and know that I got power.
Yep.
I can control, I have more control over my life than I think. Although a lot we can't control, but stuff like this, interactions, talking to people, respecting people, I got control of that.
Yep.
And I feel like you get what you put out. Yeah.
Love that, bro. There's so many things I can say right now because obviously I know you,
Yeah.
and you've, like I said, helped me through some of even my own experience. But before I get to that, I want to know from your side of things. Talk a little bit more about what you do every day to make sure you remain in that space because we know it's not easy.
Nah, bro.
It's not easy at all.
Nah.
So there's work that we have to do
Mm-hmm.
every single day in order to do that. Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's daily work.
Yep.
It's something that I feel like it's like just trying to master this. So it's something you have to do every day to really get into that mastery phase, I feel. And what I do before I start my day, I try to before I get out of bed, of course I say thank you to God,
Yep.
And I visualize what I want the day to look like, how I want to feel throughout my day. And then I try as much as I can to meditate. It's different forms.
Yep.
Sometimes even if I feel like I'm a little off, I just take a moment and I'll breathe and just breathe in, breathe out a couple times. Yeah, just like I feel like because honestly, a lot of times like impulse, we're not breathing. We're not
Yep.
really in our right mind to really just we're not in a calm space. And when you're not, that's when you do stuff you regret. So I just try to really visualize what I want, bro. Like and really put out what I say I want to give. Again, it's not easy. I flip sometimes. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna tell you like and again, it's something I'm still working on. But yeah, man, I also work out. I think that's my
Do you?
meditation. Do I?
I'm just messing with
Nah,
you,
I
bro.
do a little bit. I ain't like you yet,
Come on,
I
bro.
don't, back in the day, but yeah, man, meditation. I mean, working out is my form of meditation also,
Yep.
and I try to talk to my people, my family. I feel like that's my grounding. When I go home, and again, this my hometown. Nothing going on, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, nothing. But family is there, friends, and I feel that's a time where I can just settle myself and just get back on track when I'm not.
I think it's apparent to anybody listening that family is going to be an integral piece of your life. So, in knowing that, tell me a little bit about what your family means to you
Mm.
and how they assist you in navigating the life that you have here.
Yeah, man, my family means everything to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, um, I do feel sometimes you can meet people like you that is family. That's not family, but it's like it becomes family.
Right.
But I think when you do find family or obtain more family, I think it's important to respect, honor, be loyal, appreciate, and show, not just say, but show that you appreciate. So man, family to me is number one priority.
Yeah.
Because again, I think in my industry, our industry, it can be a lonely industry, and especially as you rise, things people change,
Yeah.
things change, and I think it's important to have your core there to like rise with you, because especially the ones that don't change on you, and allow you to grow, and vice versa. But man, family is number one priority, man. My niece, bro, I want her to see the world. She's going to see the world.
Yep.
She's going to see the world with me. And my brother's name's is gonna be huge. Yeah. So I mean, family is A1. Yeah.
Bro, so I don't know if you remember, but there was a conversation we had after you lost your brother, and you mentioned how important it was for you to be there for your niece to me.
Mhm.
We had a pretty detailed conversation about that. Obviously, you just said family is huge for you. What are some of those things that you actually want your niece to see?
Mm. Um, I want her to see, how you can persevere. Like
Yeah.
even her father was murdered. I want her to see and know that although that happened, her uncle still he showed love. He didn't become this mad, bitter, angry man. He showed me how to be, be more, want more, and not only just go outside the city, come back to the city and show love. I feel, um, yeah, I just wanted to see just all my efforts, man,
Yep.
and my efforts and just not giving up on myself and just pushing, 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 pushing. Yeah.
So, of course, we went to college together.
Mm-hmm.
Also, moved to Atlanta
Yeah,
different
crazy.
times,
Yeah.
and then moved out to
Yeah.
LA. Also,
Yeah.
different times. And just understanding your story, what you've gone through, are there any specific moments within that time period where you felt like, okay, this is the time I have to lock in and be as resilient as I've ever been?
Right now.
Hmm.
And I say right now because I feel the most locked in that I've ever been in my life, and I can see just the growth, man. Like I just performed at Apollo.
Hmm.
Apollo to me, man, to us, our community, our culture, that's iconic. All
Yep.
the legends that's performed there. And I remember younger going to McDonald's to sign up, trying to get on the Apollo, bro. And now being there, and you know, you know, getting second place and still in the running for $20,000. I mean, to me, yeah, I just man, I'm thankful, bro. Honestly, and I'm just in a place where I want to take advantage of every moment and be present.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like it's all happening because I'm visualizing these things. Like this is what I want. This is how I want to feel when I get there. And I feel when you do that and be intentional, it'll show.
So outside of the meditation, the prayer, like some of the work that you do
Yeah.
that you mentioned earlier, are there any other things that you do that allow you to be present?
Mm. Yeah. Quiet myself. Like and sometimes I like to travel. So I travel a lot.
You do.
And yeah, I do, man. I
Every time
love
I'm
it.
looking for you, you're
I
gone.
love it, bro. I feel like that's like my again, that's like my refocus.
Yeah.
And I guess inspiration to write music.
Yep.
And yeah, man, I just feel a lot of times, even before performing, like I may have my singers or my band with me. I take a moment to be by myself.
Yep.
Even if like I was just traveling, I traveled to New York and had some friends go with me, and we stayed in the Airbnb, and like we all had but I made a decision the night before. I need a hotel by myself just so I can get my mind, get in a place. I think it's very important to just kind of center yourself. So that's what I do, man. I just kind of get along.
Yeah.
And just go within.
So there's something you just said a second ago. You talked about being intentional. And of course, I've mentioned that there were so many moments where you would just reach out to me and it's just like at the perfect time.
Oh no.
And I thought about as I went through my journey, as I continue to go through my journey, how intentional you were in doing that. What sort of drives that for you, bro?
Honestly, bro, I'm just trying to be a better friend.
Yeah.
I feel like when I came to LA, I feel it was just a big difference, time change. Everybody's on different schedules. I feel like I kind of lost touch with my core friends
Yeah.
a lot of times. So now I'm just trying to do better job at that, bro. Yeah, honestly.
So what does a better job mean to you?
Checking in.
Because I think you're a great friend.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Actually, I know that, but
Preach,
yeah.
man. Thank you. Checking in, and also going the extra mile. You know what I'm saying? Like if I need to get on a flight just to check, make sure you good. Like I want to be able to do that. And I feel like that's what that's what friends supposed to do for each other.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in most cases we'll all be in each other's shoes at some point. You know what I'm saying? At some point. So I think it's important to be present and be able to step in them shoes when you need to. Yeah.
Yeah. So part of what you told me when you found out I lost my brother, you told me to take it day by day. Yeah, I think again, speaking of intention, you were very intentional in having that conversation with me. So as I continue to move throughout, like a lot of the other things I was dealing with, you were like, "Hey, bro, just meet me here." And obviously, I pull up. We spend time together, and you allowed me to really just get back to like living intentionally. So first off, I'm gonna just say I appreciate you
Hey, no doubt,
for that, bro.
My
man.
no
So I appreciate you for that.
Yeah.
But with that said, can you share anything specifically that you think if somebody ends up in a situation like you and I did, where they lose a brother, what are some of those pieces of advice that you would say to them in order to navigate that situation?
I would say first, grieve.
Yeah.
Like feel that. You know what I'm saying? Like take that time to really process, because sometimes with it happens so fast.
Yeah.
And then we try to get on with life so fast. And I feel it'll catch up with you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're
Especially when it's sudden.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think just taking that moment to like process all that, and don't allow people to tell you how, because we all have different processes. So I think that's what I would tell them. Like, just take that moment and remember like the good times, and how can you keep their memories alive?
Yeah.
You know, what did they tell you? I feel like too, when people like tell you things, first, my brother was the first person who's like, "You're a superstar, like you're a star." Um, and when he said it, like, thanks, bro. Thank you.
Right.
But yeah, I am, and I feel that, I know that. But I feel like when people go before you and they tell you some things you got to listen to, because I feel like they're privy to some things that you're not.
Right.
So I mean, just having that, being that my only sibling was the first person I recorded with, the first person that really believed in me and my gift, and now I'm doing it. I feel for him, bro. I'm blown away by just the process, man. It ain't been easy at
Yeah.
all. But like when I performed at the Apollo the other night, I took a moment before I went on stage, and like it seemed like I felt him, like, because he used to punch me all the time when he see me, and he'll say, "Go kill it," and I felt like he did the same, at the Apollo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I just want to keep his memories alive and keep doing what I do, man. I want to keep loving what I do, and
Right.
I'm thankful. Yeah.
One of the things my brother says to me is own the room. He said, regardless of what you're doing, own the room.
Yeah.
So I think obviously having that sort of connection with a brother influences a lot of the decisions you make. And with what we do, we always want to make our family proud, but specifically our siblings proud.
Yeah.
Are there any things that you have done or that you intend to do that you'll be like, Clarence would, man, love this?
Several, man, like Apollo, getting the day in my hometown, like, being able to fly my niece out, taking her to Disney World, like just stuff like that I know he would be proud. Like, thank you, you know what I'm saying? I just want to continue. I have some other stuff coming up, that's even on a bigger level.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'm thankful, bro. Like, yeah, I really feel like this is my year, bro. It's my year on a lot of levels. Yeah.
If you could share it, like what are the things that are happening for you this year? You like, all right, when I get to this spot, Caleb has shown up. Even if it's not this year, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But if you could say, if I get to this spot, Caleb has shown up.
I feel like I've already have, honestly, and I'm the type of person, like, I don't really, I have set my goals and things, but I'm not that person, like, if I don't get, I gotta have this by this, I don't do that to myself.
I agree with you.
I used to do that. I don't do that. I feel like you set yourself up for failure. And that's why I feel like I've enjoyed it and not burnt out. Because a lot of my peers that have done it or do it burnt themselves out with, their high expectations. I'm just in a place where I just want to continue to enjoy it and love it and be present. Yeah, I coming soon, bro. I'll be coming to a TV near you very, very soon. So I'm just thankful to just continue to put on for my brother and my hometown. Yeah, my family.
I don't know many people who have a day. I know Caleb who has a day. I think
That's wild.
What I don't want to do is sort of skip over that piece of it, because there's so much that goes into something like that. There's a lot of work that goes into something like that. A lot of work on your end, and then the stuff that you continue to do to inspire people. Talk about some of those things that have come maybe as a result of that for you, not necessarily specific to the day, but when you got the day, what did that lead to for you?
I think it just shows me people are watching, and it makes me want to even go harder. Makes me want to just keep bettering myself. Not necessarily achievement wise, but just how can I better myself before the achievements? You know what I'm saying? Breaking bad habits. Unlearning stuff I need to unlearn. I'm trying to just continue that process. So yeah, man, I just feel it's go time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of those habits that you feel like you need to break?
Can we say that? No, I'm just playing. It's got to be off the record now. I'm just playing. Honestly, man, I'm a Taurus. And like I'm all about love and stuff, but I can be very stubborn, like hella
Yeah.
stubborn. Um, and I feel like that I get in my way with that. So that's one thing. And again, like, and when I feel away, it's hard. You gonna know it. You know, it's hard for me to. But I'm trying to break all that
Yeah.
because I feel like as you grow and as your platform grows, you have a responsibility.
Right.
You can't just pop off, and you can't just show everything. So that's something I'm really trying to break, and it's a bad habit. Yeah.
So what are some of the things you're doing to break that?
Mm. Taking a moment before I respond. Yeah, I'm trying to, bro. Like even in New York, you know, because it's a lot of chaos, you know, there. Everybody moving, you know, people not really like, excuse me, bro. Like even here in LA, it's a
Yep.
different world, bro. Like even, you know, where we're from, people say, excuse me, I'm sorry,
Yep.
thank you, no sir, yes sir. Here it's different, you know, and when people bump me or step on my shoes, I'm like, dude, you didn't see me right here. Are
Especially
you?
not these shoes, man. Come on
Especially
now.
not the, chrome tips. No, I'm just playing.
The lemon pepper steppers.
The lemon pepper steppers. But yeah, man, just learning to be able to navigate through that, and again, just not pop off and keep the mannerisms real chill.
Keep
Yeah,
the peace.
yeah, keep the peace for sure.
Let's talk about some adversity, man. What are some of those things you feel like you've had to overcome in order to show up as you are today?
Man, where should I start? If I start, just being a Black African American male, it's a lot that comes with it, you know,
Yeah.
and especially coming from the South. Um, and again, my hometown is very small. I love y'all, but some people have very simple, simple minds, and they can't see past the ceiling, And I've always been the person, and my mom instilled so much in me. Like, shout out to my mom, I love you, girl. My dad too, I love you too, But my mom, I love you. But just being able to not allow that to keep me in a place of not going for what I want.
Yeah.
Like I've always been the person to, no matter what no one else said, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
I hear you, I receive your message, but I'm gonna do me. And I feel like that's the key. Like to everybody, I feel like everybody got to do what works for them. And just yeah, again, just growing up in a very small town, everybody knew everybody. I feel like they tried to, or people will try to like keep you in a box. And yeah, that's some of the adversity. Even doing this full time, it's hard.
Yeah.
Bro, this industry is chaotic. You know what I'm saying? Like they want your gift, and sometimes I don't really want to pay you for it. And I ain't for that.
Yeah.
And I would never be for that. I feel my favorites are like the legends, James Browns, the MJs, the Al Greens, and I feel like how I look at them, like I feel that's how I feel like I'm about my business. I'm a show up. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna do my stuff, and I'm gonna do it well.
And you
and
do.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, and I expect to be paid accordingly, and when I'm supposed to get paid. And I'm not. I'm about my business.
Yes, sir.
And I feel it's just time out for. I don't like people taking advantage. And I'm not for it. So I think just again, just this industry has been a challenge trying to maneuver, but I'm glad that I've been able to just kind of ride my own wave and figure it out. Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a step back real quick.
Yeah.
Since I know you, I know how important your mom is to you.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Let's talk about your mom's resilience.
Yeah, dog. Our mother's resilience.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Man, I think women in general just they take on so much. So much, man. They are the providers a lot of times. Because speaking for myself, my mom and dad divorced when my brother and I were about 2 and 3. So my mom had to take on all of that, you know. She was actually this how I know she's special. Her name is Ruby, by the way. And you know that's a very special jewel.
Mm-hmm.
But she was about to leave for the military because she couldn't find a job. She was trying to just provide for. So my grandfather, I'm gonna just go back a little bit, and this I think this is important. A lot of times I don't talk about this, but I feel, you know, my grandfather was a sharecropper, and you know he stayed on the farm. They stayed on at this family, Mr. Miller and his wife, white family. My grandfather worked for them for many years, and they stayed in this 2-bedroom home. My grandmother and grandfather had 9 children. They had 2 bedrooms, so they raised 9 children in 1 bedroom. And just the resilience of my grandmother, like getting up every day, providing for them, cooking, cleaning, making their clothes. My mom's sisters had a group, gospel group. My grandmother made all their clothes. Just the history I feel my family has. I just want to, man, continue to stand on them shoulders, bro, and just make them happy. Like even when my grandmother and grandfather tried to get a loan to get their own home, the family, they didn't give him a loan. The banks wouldn't give him a loan. He wouldn't co-sign for my grandfather. My grandmother, I mean my mother, being the woman she is, she graduated college. She went to Lane College, #1 in her class. You know, that's in Jackson, Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
predominantly black historical college. And then she went to Tennessee Tech in Cookeville. But she came back and she was looking for a job just to help my grandfather and grandfather get a house. She was about to go to the military, and then she found a job that day, and she bought her first house for my grandmother and grandfather.
Wow.
So I wanna do the same for her. You know, when it's time, I want to buy her from her son, just to show her the love. I feel like women, they don't get the love they deserve. I feel
Yeah.
a lot of times, and man, they just do so much, bro. So hats off to my mom for just being resilient, even with 2 children. She always poured into us. You can do it. You got it. You know, whatever you want, you can achieve that. Um, but yeah, man, just knowing um, that I have my mom rooting me on. She's at most of all my shows, bro, and I'm thankful. A lot of times, and because people don't have to do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay $500 for a ticket, a flight, you know, to see your son, but she does, and I'm appreciative. Yeah, yeah.
So what are some of those things that you feel like you carry with you
Mm,
that may not necessarily be burdens, but something that you just carry that you feel like
mm,
you need to hold on to,
mm,
or that you need to carry rather?
mm. You said burdens.
It whatever you feel like you carry,
Um,
whether it's a burden or otherwise.
I feel I carry. I have to carry. I carry my brother's name. You know, I feel like I got to keep that torch in the air. You know, because you know that's the reason. I feel like mm, God allowed it to happen so that I can do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I feel like I owe, you know, to God, to my brother, to just continue this journey, man, and not give up. You know, and try my best, no matter what it comes out to be. Just not giving up. Yeah. So I think that's what I carry.
It's really interesting that you say that because I remember when my first younger brother passed, he came to me in a dream and he said, "You're about to accomplish some things that you wouldn't
Mm,
have if I was there."
mm,
And that resonated so much with me because I knew the kind of stuff that I continue to carry
yeah.
with me. Some of those moments when I really should have been in therapy and I wasn't.
Mm,
Some of those moments when I really should have been talking to somebody and I wasn't sharing. And I got to this place where I felt like the only way for me to move forward and to heal was to be transparent and to be vulnerable. So that makes me want to ask you, what specific time did you decide
mm.
therapy was right for you?
Bro, let me tell you. So 2 years ago, um, I had a freak accident. A mirror shattered and tore my
Man, I
Achilles.
remember that.
Yeah, split my
Right after we were just over there too.
yeah, severed my Achilles.
Yep.
And I was in a place, and again, I've never really had to depend on anybody.
Yep.
I've always been on it, doing my thing. And that just sat me down, bro. Like having to depend on someone to help me get in the shower, just stuff like that. Like, bro, I just felt down. And I think that sat me down so I really can like go back to everything I needed to really address. Childhood trauma, um, um, my brother's death, losing my aunts. I mean, just losing people like left and right, losing my first manager. A lot just kind of set me down. And then I was like, I'm fucked up. I'm
Yeah.
excuse my language, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need to talk to somebody, and not just. Of course, I have my family and God, but I think I'm all about hiring the person that's gifted in the area and trusting them. And I think with the right therapist, it just helps the perspective and allows you to see things differently, And shout out to mine. Um, yeah, thank you to my therapist, Miss Latina. Thank you so much.
Mm.
But yeah, man, just having someone to help me maneuver through my thoughts it's been life changing for me. Yeah, but that's when I was like, I gotta talk to somebody, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you now, what are some pieces of advice you can provide to somebody that would help them go through their journey? If there were maybe a couple of things that you could share that would help people navigate their journey, what would you say?
Don't be afraid to go through it. One, like really feel it, and don't be afraid to talk to someone.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to say, I'm really hurting, speak up. I think, a lot of times we go through things silently, which kills us, but I feel like, it's all about relationships. We need each other, honestly. Everybody needs each other to get through this thing. And I feel like I would just say, talk to somebody, and don't be afraid to reach outside your circle if you need to. Like, and yeah, just don't be afraid. Like, and you're not the first or the last to go through it, So it's always somebody to talk to. Yeah.
Bro, so it's funny because, obviously this happened over the last several months, but there was one day you reached out to me and I was definitely not like in the greatest place, but you told me to get out of the house and we went to grab, I think it was brunch. And you took this picture of me just so I can have it.
Mm.
I hadn't smiled that whole day.
Mm.
But then I sat with you and we were just talking how we typically talk. And you just like, bro, you swagged up. Like, you should feel good about yourself.
Yeah, bro.
And you gave me something that day.
Mm.
You gave me a smile that I hadn't had in a minute, bro.
Mm.
So, one, I want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, of course, bro.
But two, you mentioned something about just being intentional about being a good friend. I think you've been really intentional about that. I think you've been intentional about the way you've navigated your entire journey, intentional about literally speaking life into people. With all of that said, are there any final thoughts that you have that you just want to share? Right now, it's Caleb Miller Show.
I would just share to anybody listening, don't be afraid to believe in you. I feel like a lot of times we look outside and we tend to forget like this power we possess. And I feel like we all have it. We just got to know we have it, and we got to master it, whatever that gift is. So I would just say, like, yeah, take a chance on you. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Live your life. Live it in love. Live it with an open heart. And turn up. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. That's what I'll say.
Hey, man, I love you, bro.
Love you too, bro.
I can't say that enough. I can't emphasize enough how helpful you've been for me in my journey.
Hey, vice versa.
I told you earlier, man, I was excited about taking the time to sit and talk to you, bro, because I knew we'd be able to connect on a different level.
For sure.
Just being able to have a conversation like this. We frequently, I think, have conversations like this too,
sure.
but it's good to allow ourselves to share that with the world.
Yeah.
With that said, I think we all know everybody has a story. No matter what life throws at you, no matter how tough it gets, it's gonna hurt, but it won't kill you.